Hello, graceful Libra. Over the next 2 days, July 6th and 7th, you may begin noticing changes that seem quiet at first, but carry more significance than they reveal on the surface. Not every meaningful turning point announces itself with noise. Sometimes it arrives like the first light of morning, gently illuminating a path that has been waiting for you all along. If you sense that something within you has been seeking greater balance, these days may offer the clarity you've been hoping to find. Pay attention to the conversations that linger in your thoughts, the invitations that appear unexpectedly, or the ideas that suddenly feel worth exploring again. Rather than seeing these moments as random, consider them gentle reminders to slow down and notice where life is naturally drawing your attention. The more present you become, the easier it may be to recognize opportunities that once seemed hidden in plain sight. One of the first areas where this shift may become visible is through your sense of value and direction. An offer, a collaboration, or a meaningful conversation could encourage you to see your talents from a fresh perspective. Instead of arriving as a dramatic breakthrough, this opportunity may feel like something quietly falling into place, reminding you that growth often begins with one thoughtful decision rather than one extraordinary event. As your confidence grows, you may also notice your energy changing in subtle but meaningful ways. Mental tension begins to ease, your focus becomes steadier, and the uncertainty that has slowed your progress starts giving way to renewed motivation. What once felt overwhelming may now appear more manageable, allowing you to move forward with greater calm and purpose. This isn't only about practical progress. It's also an invitation to reconnect with your inner balance. Your intuition may become clearer, helping you recognize which conversations deserve your attention, which opportunities genuinely reflect your values, and which paths no longer belong to the person you are becoming. Every small choice made with honesty strengthens the next one, creating momentum that feels natural rather than forced. Think of these days not as a single life-changing moment, but as the beginning of a meaningful sequence. One insight leads to another, one conversation opens the door to the next, and each thoughtful step gradually reshapes the landscape ahead of you. Like crossing a bridge, one deliberate step at a time, you begin to realize that lasting change often grows from consistency rather than urgency. By the time July 6 and 7 have passed, you may find yourself looking back and recognizing that something important quietly shifted within you. Not because everything changed overnight, but because you chose to notice what had been unfolding beneath the surface. If this message speaks to where you are today, comment 2 to symbolize your choice to embrace balance over doubt, and to welcome this new season with clarity, openness, and intention. Hello, graceful Libra. This is not about waiting for life to suddenly become different. It is about recognizing that something within you has already begun to shift, and July 6th and 7th may simply make that change easier to see. If you've been carrying a quiet feeling that your direction is evolving, trust that instinct. Sometimes the most important transitions begin long before they become visible in the world around you. These 2 days invite you to move with intention rather than urgency. Every conversation, every thoughtful decision, and every small act of courage has the potential to shape what comes next. You may notice that situations which once felt uncertain begin settling into place, almost as though your outer circumstances are finally reflecting the balance you have been creating within yourself. Those who pause to recognize these subtle changes often discover opportunities that others overlook. If this message reflects what you're experiencing, comment 2 as a symbol of choosing balance over doubt. Let it represent your willingness to welcome this new chapter with openness, clarity, and confidence. Growth doesn't always arrive with dramatic announcements. More often, it begins with a quiet decision to trust yourself and take the next meaningful step. As July 6 and 7 unfold, pay close attention to the practical areas of your life, especially those connected to your work, resources, and long-term goals. A new collaboration, a meaningful conversation, or an opportunity to showcase your abilities may appear when you least expect it. Rather than feeling like luck alone, it may feel like the natural result of everything you've been learning, refining, and patiently building over recent months. Think back to the first half of the year. There may have been moments when progress felt slower than you hoped, or times when it seemed easier to watch others move ahead while you quietly continued your own journey. Those experiences were not necessarily signs that you were falling behind. They may have been preparing you to recognize opportunities that align more closely with your values, instead of chasing paths that were never truly yours. Now, the landscape begins to change. What once seemed distant may become more accessible through cooperation, thoughtful negotiation, or a chance to demonstrate your unique strengths. One opportunity can naturally lead to another, creating steady momentum rather than sudden upheaval. By choosing clarity over hesitation and intention over impulse, you may find yourself stepping into a season where your efforts are finally recognized and your next chapter begins to take shape with quiet confidence. As these days continue to unfold, you may begin noticing encouraging movement around your financial life. It could arrive as an unexpected invitation, a new partnership, a conversation that opens fresh possibilities, or a chance to be recognized for work that has quietly deserved more attention. Rather than appearing as pure luck, these moments may feel like the natural reward for the patience and care you've invested over time. The opportunity itself is only part of the story. More important is what it reveals about your own sense of value. A fair agreement, a creative collaboration, or a role that allows your strengths to become more visible can reshape not only your resources, but also the confidence with which you approach future decisions. Sometimes the greatest financial shift begins the moment you recognize that your talents deserve to be seen and appreciated. Even so, it's completely natural to hesitate when something promising appears. Growth often asks us to step beyond familiar routines, and that can feel uncomfortable before it feels exciting. Instead of interpreting uncertainty as a warning, consider it an invitation to slow down, gather clarity, and respond with intention. The opportunities meant for you rarely require panic, but they do ask for presence. You may also notice people reaching out unexpectedly, or conversations developing in ways that once seemed unlikely. Projects that previously stalled could begin moving again, and possibilities that felt distant may suddenly become realistic. Each thoughtful choice you make has the potential to strengthen the next one, creating steady momentum that grows through consistency rather than urgency. At the same time, remember that not every open door leads where you truly want to go. Some opportunities may appear impressive at first glance, while quietly pulling you away from what matters most. This is where your intuition becomes one of your greatest strengths. Pay attention to the options that bring a genuine sense of ease, purpose, and alignment, rather than those driven only by pressure or appearances. As July 6 and 7 continue, trust your ability to distinguish between temporary excitement and lasting value. The opportunities most worthy of your attention are likely to reflect the balance you've been cultivating within yourself. By choosing thoughtfully and moving forward with quiet confidence, you create the conditions for steady growth that extends well beyond these 2 meaningful days. As you continue moving through July 6 and 7, you may notice that one positive step naturally encourages another. A thoughtful decision can lead to a new opportunity, and that opportunity may inspire even greater confidence in yourself. Progress rarely happens all at once. More often, it grows through a series of meaningful moments that quietly build upon each other until you suddenly realize how far you've come. What begins as practical progress may also change the way you see yourself. Greater financial stability is valuable, but perhaps the deeper gift is discovering that you are becoming someone who trusts your judgment, recognizes your worth, and feels prepared to welcome opportunities with confidence rather than hesitation. Lasting abundance often begins with this quiet shift in perspective. If this message reflects where you are today, comment 2 as a reminder that balance creates growth. Let it represent your commitment to making thoughtful choices, trusting your intuition, and remaining open to the possibilities that are gradually unfolding around you. Every intentional step strengthens the foundation for the next one. Remember that this is only one part of a much larger journey. As one area of your life becomes more balanced, other parts often begin responding as well. By the time these 2 days have passed, you may discover that what first appeared to be a financial opportunity has also opened the door to new confidence, fresh perspectives, and relationships that support the direction you're moving toward. Now your attention gently shifts from resources to connection. The next meaningful change may arrive not through numbers or achievements, but through the people who cross your path. A conversation that once felt unfinished may naturally find its way back into your life, or someone may reach out with words that arrive at exactly the right moment. These encounters don't have to be dramatic to be deeply significant. As your inner balance grows, others may respond to that quiet confidence without either of you fully understanding why. Conversations feel more genuine. Introductions happen with surprising ease, and relationships begin forming around shared values instead of circumstance alone. Rather than asking whether these moments are simply coincidence, consider what they may be inviting you to notice about the direction your life is gradually taking. This isn't only about romance. In many cases, it's about finding people who encourage your growth, challenge your perspective in healthy ways, or help you recognize strengths you hadn't fully acknowledged before. Every meaningful connection has the potential to guide you toward greater clarity, reminding you that sometimes the most important opportunities arrive in the form of a conversation, a shared idea, or the simple feeling of being understood. The people who enter your life during July 6 and 7 may offer more than companionship. Some may encourage you to see yourself from a different perspective, while others gently challenge beliefs or habits that no longer reflect the person you're becoming. Whether an interaction feels comforting or unexpectedly thought-provoking, each one has the potential to help you move toward greater balance and self-understanding. Take a moment to think back over the past few weeks. There may have been subtle moments that caught your attention, a conversation you couldn't stop thinking about, an unexpected invitation, or a quiet feeling that change was approaching even if you couldn't explain why. These experiences may begin connecting like pieces of a larger picture, helping you recognize that growth often unfolds through a series of meaningful encounters rather than one dramatic event. You may also find yourself in situations that feel surprisingly well-timed. A conversation begins just when you need fresh perspective. A new introduction opens the door to collaboration, or someone reappears with an opportunity to resolve unfinished thoughts. Instead of assuming every encounter carries the same purpose, allow yourself to observe each one with curiosity and patience, trusting that clarity often reveals itself over time. At the same time, remember that not every connection is meant to remain in your life indefinitely. Some people arrive to encourage your progress, while others help you recognize the importance of healthy boundaries, honest communication, or stronger self-respect. Both experiences have value because each one teaches you something about the relationships that truly support your future. As your inner balance becomes steadier, your presence naturally reflects that change. People may respond to your calm confidence, your willingness to listen, or the authenticity you bring into conversations. The relationships that grow from this place are often built on mutual respect and shared values, creating opportunities that extend far beyond emotional support alone. You may discover that one conversation leads naturally to another, a new introduction becomes a meaningful collaboration, or a simple exchange of ideas reveals possibilities you hadn't previously considered. Growth has a way of expanding through connection, and every thoughtful interaction can become another step along the path that continues unfolding before you. Some of the most meaningful opportunities during these 2 days may arrive wearing the familiar face of a conversation rather than a career offer or financial breakthrough. A shared idea, a recommendation, or an unexpected meeting could quietly redirect your perspective in ways that only become clear later. Keep your heart open, but let your judgment remain equally present, allowing both intuition and wisdom to guide your choices. If this message resonates with where you are today, comment 2 as a symbol of choosing balance, meaningful connection, and intentional growth. Let it represent your willingness to welcome the people, conversations, and opportunities that genuinely reflect the life you're working to create, one thoughtful step at a time. Hello again, graceful Libra. As the themes of connection continue unfolding, you may also begin noticing a quieter change taking place within yourself. The conversations you've had, the choices you've made, and the balance you've been cultivating are not separate experiences. Together, they create the conditions for a renewed sense of energy that supports every area of your life. During July 6 and 7, you may find that the mental weight you've been carrying begins to feel a little lighter. Tasks that once required constant effort seem more manageable. Your thoughts become less scattered, and your motivation starts returning in steady, encouraging ways. Rather than arriving all at once, this renewed vitality may reveal itself through small moments that remind you how capable you've always been. You might notice yourself waking with a clearer sense of purpose, finding it easier to concentrate, or feeling more present in everyday conversations. Stress that once occupied so much of your attention may gradually loosen its grip, creating space for fresh ideas and calmer decisions. These subtle shifts often become the foundation for much larger changes in the weeks ahead. This renewal is about more than physical energy alone. Emotional balance and inner clarity often grow together, allowing you to release worries that have quietly shaped your decisions for far too long. As those burdens begin to soften, you may discover a stronger connection to your own intuition, making it easier to recognize what deserves your time and what can finally be left behind. Everything you've experienced so far, the opportunities you've recognized, the relationships you've strengthened, and the lessons you've gathered, contributes to this growing sense of wholeness. Instead of seeing these experiences as separate chapters, you may begin recognizing how each one has prepared you for this moment of greater self-understanding. What once felt like delays may now reveal themselves as important periods of growth. As your inner balance becomes steadier, your awareness naturally sharpens. You may notice patterns more easily, sense when a decision feels genuinely aligned with your values, or recognize opportunities before they fully take shape. This isn't about predicting the future. It's about becoming more present, more observant, and more confident in your own judgment. With greater clarity often comes the courage to take actions that once felt intimidating. A conversation you've postponed, a creative idea you hesitated to pursue, or a personal goal you've quietly set aside may suddenly feel possible again. Confidence grows through experience, and every thoughtful choice reinforces your belief that you are capable of creating meaningful progress. You may also discover that true healing reaches beyond physical energy. Old disappointments can begin losing their hold. Self-doubt may gradually give way to self-trust, and beliefs that once limited your possibilities may no longer feel as convincing as they once did. This isn't about becoming someone entirely different. It's about reconnecting with the version of yourself that has been patiently waiting beneath the noise. If this message reflects your experience, comment 2 as a symbol of choosing balance, renewal, and steady personal growth. Let it remind you that meaningful transformation often begins with a quiet decision to care for your mind, your heart, and your energy with the same intention you bring to every opportunity ahead. Momentum grows one thoughtful step at a time, and these days may simply be the beginning of a healthier, more grounded chapter in your journey. As your energy becomes steadier, you may also begin noticing something equally valuable: greater clarity. Patterns that once blended into the background become easier to recognize, allowing you to see which routines support your well-being and which ones quietly drain your time, energy, or confidence. You may even find yourself recognizing habits you've carried for so long that they once felt invisible, only now realizing how much they have shaped your daily life. This growing awareness isn't meant to overwhelm you. It's an invitation to make thoughtful adjustments that bring your life into closer alignment with the person you're becoming, replacing unconscious patterns with choices that feel more intentional and life-giving. You may find yourself naturally releasing commitments that no longer feel meaningful, while making more room for experiences that inspire growth and peace of mind. The responsibility that once felt necessary may no longer deserve the same space in your life, while a forgotten passion or simple daily ritual begins calling your attention again. Sometimes renewal isn't about adding more to your life. It's about creating space for what already belongs there. The choices that feel most balanced now may become the foundation for everything that follows, allowing your time and energy to flow toward what genuinely supports your long-term well-being. If this message reflects your experience, comment 2 as a reminder that lasting growth begins with balance and self-awareness. Let it symbolize your willingness to move forward with intention, trusting that every thoughtful decision contributes to the life you're building. Even a small commitment to yourself today can become the first step toward changes that continue unfolding long after these 2 days have passed. As July 6th and 7 continue, new possibilities may begin revealing themselves in unexpected ways. An opportunity that once seemed out of reach could become more realistic. A conversation may point you toward a different direction, or a chance encounter could introduce an idea worth exploring. Rather than arriving with dramatic certainty, these openings often appear quietly, asking only that you remain present enough to notice them. What first seems like a simple exchange or ordinary invitation may later reveal itself as an important turning point, reminding you that meaningful opportunities rarely need to announce themselves loudly. Think of this period as approaching a crossroads rather than standing before a single dramatic doorway. Several paths may become visible, each offering something different. Some may promise immediate rewards, while others invite slower but more meaningful growth. Your greatest guide will not be urgency, but the calm inner voice that helps you recognize what genuinely reflects your values, your priorities, and the future you hope to create. The more honestly you listen to that quiet inner wisdom, the more naturally the right direction begins to stand out. As momentum grows, you may also encounter moments that test your patience. A delay, a misunderstanding, or someone who doesn't immediately share your vision can feel discouraging at first. Yet these experiences don't necessarily signal that you're moving in the wrong direction. They often provide an opportunity to strengthen your confidence, refine your plans, and continue forward without allowing temporary obstacles to define your progress. Sometimes a brief pause offers the perspective needed to make a wiser decision than you would have made if everything had unfolded exactly as expected. The more clearly you understand what truly matters, the easier it becomes to distinguish between opportunities that simply attract attention and those that genuinely deserve your commitment. Not every exciting possibility will support the future you're trying to build, and learning to recognize that difference is part of your growth. Every thoughtful decision strengthens your confidence, and every experience, even the ones that don't unfold as expected, adds wisdom that supports the next choice. Over time, this quiet confidence becomes one of your greatest strengths because it is built on experience rather than impulse. Some of the most meaningful opportunities during these 2 days may not stand out to everyone around you. What feels significant to you may appear ordinary to someone else, and that's perfectly natural. A brief conversation, an unexpected idea, or a subtle shift in perspective can carry more importance than events that seem impressive on the surface. Trust your ability to recognize the moments that resonate deeply, even if they don't arrive with immediate certainty or widespread approval. The opportunities most closely aligned with your path often reveal themselves through a quiet sense of rightness rather than dramatic excitement. As this chapter continues unfolding, allow your intuition and your actions to work together. Reflection gives direction, while steady action creates progress. Each thoughtful step builds upon the one before it, gradually transforming insight into lived experience. By moving forward with openness, patience, and quiet confidence, you create space for new opportunities to emerge naturally, one meaningful step after another. As these days come to a close, you may discover that the greatest gift wasn't a single remarkable event, but a clearer understanding of yourself. And that understanding becomes the compass that continues guiding you long after July 6th and 7 have passed. Libra. As these 2 days continue unfolding, you may begin to realize that the opportunities you've been noticing are connected in ways that weren't immediately obvious. A meaningful conversation, renewed confidence, greater clarity, and fresh possibilities are not separate experiences. Together, they form a quiet pattern, gently guiding you toward a chapter that reflects the balance you've been working to create. What once appeared to be isolated moments may now begin to reveal an underlying rhythm, reminding you that lasting change often develops through small, meaningful experiences that slowly begin to support one another. The next steps may not ask you to become someone different. Instead, they invite you to trust the person you gradually become through every lesson, every adjustment, and every choice you've made over recent months. The greatest obstacle now may not come from circumstances around you, but from the familiar habit of questioning your own readiness. If hesitation appears, meet it with patience rather than fear, remembering that confidence is built through thoughtful action, one decision at a time. Each moment you choose trust over self-doubt strengthens a foundation that has been quietly taking shape long before these days arrived. If this message speaks to you, comment, "I step through," as a simple way of acknowledging your willingness to move forward with openness and intention. Let those words represent your choice to welcome growth without rushing it, and to remain present for the opportunities these days may reveal. Sometimes making a quiet commitment to yourself is enough to shift the way you notice the possibilities already waiting around you. Think of this moment as standing at the beginning of a bridge rather than before a dramatic gate. The path ahead doesn't require certainty about every outcome. It simply asks you to take the next step with honesty, trusting that each thoughtful choice will help reveal the one that follows. Progress often unfolds this way quietly, consistently, and with more wisdom than urgency. Like crossing a bridge one steady step at a time, your confidence grows not because you can already see the destination, but because each step proves that you are capable of continuing forward. By the time July 6th and 7th draw to a close, you may look back and recognize that several small moments quietly redirected your perspective. A new opportunity, an honest conversation, renewed energy, or a clearer understanding of your priorities may become the foundation for the months ahead. What seemed ordinary at first may reveal itself as the beginning of something deeply meaningful. It may not be one defining event that changes everything, but a collection of subtle realizations that gradually reshape the direction of your decisions. The greatest transformation is rarely found in one extraordinary event. More often, it appears through the accumulation of choices that reflect your values, strengthen your relationships, and deepen your trust in yourself. As those choices continue building upon one another, they create a future that feels less like chance and more like the natural expression of who you are becoming. Every balanced decision reinforces the next, creating a quiet momentum that feels both sustainable and deeply authentic. Continue listening to your intuition, but allow it to work hand in hand with patience, discernment, and steady action. There may be moments when one opportunity shines more brightly than another, yet your inner sense of balance will often recognize what truly belongs before logic has fully caught up. When balance guides your decisions, opportunities have room to grow, relationships become more meaningful, and confidence develops naturally from lived experience. The path ahead does not ask for perfection. It asks only that you keep moving forward with sincerity, curiosity, and purpose, allowing each experience to teach you something valuable about yourself along the way. If today's reflection resonates with you, you can also comment too as a symbol of choosing balance, or "I step through" to mark your readiness for this new chapter. Sometimes the most meaningful threshold isn't crossed in a single dramatic moment, it's crossed quietly. Each time you choose clarity over doubt, intention over fear, and the person you are becoming over the version of yourself you've already outgrown. As July 6 and 7 continue to unfold, allow yourself to trust that these thoughtful choices are not only shaping the days immediately ahead, but also laying the groundwork for a season of greater harmony, purpose, and lasting personal growth.